The need to replant a block of vineyard typically occurs due to disease. Like people, vines get viruses, which are transmitted from vine to vine via insects. But unlike people, they do not have the immune systems to fight off these viruses, and the vines begin to produce inferior and fewer grapes. So it is time to replant. So come along with me to see how a new vineyard is born. We had a block of Merlot here in Bonny's vineyard that succumbed to a relatively new disease called red blotch. So we pulled out the vines and waited for 3 years to assure ourselves there was no possibility of residual disease left in the soil. This block of vineyard will be replanted to Cabernet Franc. Cab Franc is an excellent blending wine for Meyer family Cabernet. Plus, Matt and Karen are interested in producing some Cabernet Franc as a standalone varietal. The first step was to prepare the soil. Over the past 2 years, nutrient-rich cover crop was planted, then tilled back into the soil so that the new vineyard would have a healthy start. We even hired a flock of sheep last spring to trim the vegetation and fertilize as they walked along. A week before planting, the ground was disked and then followed by a cultivator so that it would be soft and smooth. The drip irrigation emitters are checked and spaghetti hoses attached to the emitters and placed directly above where the new vines will be planted. Back in the 1960s and 70s, most vineyard was established by first planting rootstock, then field budding the desired variety. Today, rootstock and the chosen variety and clone are joined in the nursery. The wound is dipped in wax and the benchgraft is grown for 6 months so that when it is delivered, it is a green growing plant with an established root system. The tender benchgrafts arrive from the nursery and are placed under an oak tree to minimize the shock of transport and so the vines can acclimate to the vineyard environment. On planting day, holes are hand dug in the soft earth. A mixture of compost and worm castings is added to each hole. The vines are planted carefully, making sure the graft is above ground. A carton is added to protect the baby vines from harsh sun and hungry rabbits. Finally, the drip irrigation is turned on and the new vines are given a welcome drink. Right now, it looks like we are growing skinny milk cartons, but soon these new Cabernet Franc vines will grow over the tops of the cartons and up the grape stakes. It will take 5 years before these vines are mature enough to make great Meyer family Cellars Cabernet Franc. Between now and then, we will train, tie, and cultivate these vines so that when the time comes, the grapes will make the finest wine possible. I hope you enjoyed this insight into how a vineyard is born. This is Divine Conversations with Bonny Meyer. See you next time.